Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my video. So, man, I am stuck at the airport right now. Um, right. So basically, I dropped somebody off and went to this little stop area at the airport and got something to eat, went to the bathroom, came back out, and this truck is not starting right now. It's not starting at all. I've been trying to get it, to crank for the last 15 times that I've tried it so far. Nothing. So basically what happens is, I didn't think there was a problem because everything works on this truck. Everything works on this truck. All the lights work, the blower motor works, radio works, everything works, even the alarm works. I'm pretty sure the alarm works, but there's no crank to it. There's no crank to it. So what I did was I got out. I was like, maybe the battery's dead, because I had issues like this before, maybe like a couple weeks ago, a month ago, but I was able to get it to crank up after like 5-6 tries. I mean, I've tried 15 times on this truck and nothing. So basically, anyway, I went out and turned on the headlights, went out, checked the headlights just to make sure that battery wasn't dead or anything like that. But headlights were bright. They were like really, really bright. So I'm like, it can't be the battery, right? Can't be the battery, because I changed out the battery like 2 years ago. Anyway, I couldn't be 100% sure about it, so I opened the hood, and I was looking at the terminals, and the terminals look really dirty. So I'm like, okay, they were like on there real tight, but they were dirty. It was like some bluish white stuff on there. I'm like, okay, maybe the connection's bad. So I got this little wrench set that I got from AutoZone, took it out, took the terminals off, and cleaned out the terminals with a metal brush. Cleaned out the terminals with a metal brush. I got a little toolbox in my truck. Came out, cleaned off the terminals with my little brush, put it back on, and guess what? Nothing. I mean, it's 100% clean. I even had like a can of Coke, and I actually poured some Coke on there. I mean, if you guys have ever seen, like, there's like videos where you guys could deoxidize it, just pouring some Coke on there. Put some Coke on there, fizzled and stuff like that. Cleaned up really, really good. The terminals on the battery and the terminals on the cable. Popped it on, tightened it up, and try to start it. Nothing. Lights were bright. So I'm like, okay, it could still be the battery. It could still be the battery. Right? So I was like, okay. All right, time to take out my battery pack that I bought from Amazon. And this is a really good battery pack with like a really, it's in the back right now. I can't remember what the name is, but I'll let you guys know later. Anyway, I put it on my on the battery terminals, on the cable terminals. I try to turn it, turn on, and nothing, still nothing. So I'm like, and the battery pack was like 75% full. It was like 75% full, but I'm like 100% sure at this point it's not the battery. I mean, normally if it's like the bad battery, or maybe the battery pack isn't powerful enough to turn on, a lot of times what happens, I'll hear a slow crank or something like that, some noise. Except outside of a click, that's all I'm hearing. So I'm like, it's not the battery, it's not the battery, it's not the battery pack, it's not the battery at all. I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure it's not the battery. All right, so I'm like, what else could it be? It could be the alternator. I mean, there's a good chance it could be the alternator, right? No. Because this situation here, I know the test for the alternator. I've had alternator issues before. Most of the times with alternator issues, the engine's running. This truck was not running when I went in. I turned it completely off, went in to go to the bathroom, whatever, came back out. This truck was off. Anyway, if you guys don't know the test for the alternator, if if you have a dead alternator, I mean, just putting cables on the battery should be able to turn your car on. All right, once you take the cables off, the car will die out because the alternator is not charging it. That's when you know you have a bad alternator or a dead alternator. Okay, so basically, I didn't think it was the alternator. I don't think it's the alternator. So I was looking at the wiring of the battery. Could be the ground wire. And I looked at the ground, the ground to the frame, and it, I couldn't really see it too well, but it looked all right to me, and it wasn't worth for me to clean it up and stuff like that. So I didn't do anything with that. So my next step after that was like, okay, what else could it be? Maybe it's a dead starter relay or something like that. So I popped the fuse box. I looked in the fuse box, and I found the relay to the starter, and basically I was just wiggling it, took it out, make sure that the little connectors were cleaned, and they were clean. But I actually took the metal brush and just brushed it a little bit, put it back on, try to turn it on, nothing. So I was thinking to myself, okay, what's the deal with this? Nothing. I do hear a click, so I didn't think it was the relay. Did not think it was the relay because basically what happens is when you try to start your car or a truck or whatever, if you hear a click, normally that's the solenoid on the battery on the starter going off. You can hear the solenoid, and normally the relay, what it does, it relays electricity from your battery to the relay to the motor starter. And I was hearing that click, so I'm pretty sure it was a relay. But here's the thing: I actually looked around the fuse box, and I saw another relay with the same amperage or whatever, same numbers on there. Took it out, swapped it, tried to turn it on. Nothing happened. At that point, I knew it was a relay. So I was like, what else could it be? Maybe a fuse or something like that. Okay, I mean, I was looking at the fuses just to see, whether any of them looked like they were burnt out. I mean, I didn't have a fuse tester on me. I probably should get one. So I'm like, okay, I've only had 2 situations where the fuse went out on me, and one of those situations was my car that I had previous was like completely dead, and turned out that it was the main fuse that connected the battery to the fuse box. That was the dead fuse, and I swapped out that fuse. My car started up without a problem. Now, that's not the case right here with this truck. Reason being is I am getting electricity all throughout the car, like for everything. Even for the doors and stuff like that, windows, everything. So that's not the case here. So the other situation I had with fuse was, I believe it was either the fuel pump fuse blew, or either the car's computer fuse blew. And what happened was that with that situation, I was able to crank it up, just keep on cranking it, but it wouldn't turn over. But here's the situation that is different here, not the same situation. Reason being is that with this truck right now, it's not cranking at all. I'm getting dead silence. So I'm pretty sure it's not a fuse, but I wasn't able to test it out, and can't test it out. So at this point, I'm assuming that it is the starter. I'm assuming that it is a starter because I can hear a click going on, but there's no cranking at all. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that. I got to test it out some more, but I'm going to keep you guys updated on this. All right, guys? All right, guys, what's up? So here's the thing. I ended up calling AAA to tow my truck, and it took some time for them to get to me, 2 hours. It's just a waste of time. This whole entire situation is a waste of time. But got it back to my home, and I was able to do some tests on it, test out all the fuses. All the fuses were good, no problems with that. So basically, I did the relay test where, and I didn't really have to do that because I was pretty sure at that point I knew it was the starter. But you put a paper clip or whatever, and you put it between 2 of the terminals on the relay, positive and negative. And I didn't hear anything, so started and go off. So at that point, I actually just started disassembling the to get to the starter. And what I did was, I bumped it, didn't start up, and I did do that test where I pretty much use a screwdriver pretty much to connect the starter, the terminal, the positive, the starter terminal to the solenoid terminal, and try to see if I could start it up. It didn't do anything, so at that point I knew it was a starter that was a bad starter. So what I did was I took the starter out, went to AutoZone, and pretty much got a rebuilt starter and popped it in. And guess what, guys? It started working again. And haven't had a problem since. So it was definitely the starter that was the issue. Got that fixed. If this is a video that you guys are watching because you guys are having the same issue, if you guys having all those, everything that I've described, if you guys are going through all that stuff and gone through all that stuff and none of that stuff helped you out, it's probably the starter. But if you guys want to leave a comment, please leave a comment. Please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, guys. All right, take care.